Hello and welcome to another English Terms Term Blast. This time it's sentence mood and sentence type. It's two categories that come up quite a lot and they get muddled up quite a lot, so I thought, well, I better make a video on it. So here is said video. Okay, so we're going to start off with sentence mood, and easiest thing to remember with sentence mood, or most important thing to remember with sentence mood, I should say, is that it's not to do with emotions at all. It's a purely like a grammatical thing, really. It's something to do with effectively the sort of sentence that it is. And back into that, we've got your four main ones. We've got declarative. So we just, and sorry about jumping about the screens there, but anyway, we got declarative. They are your statement sentences. Statement. We've got interrogative or interrogative if you prefer, and as well. You have interrogative, which are your question sentences. Question. Imperative. I was going forward by mistake. Imperative, which are your command sentences, so instructions, command, and exclamatory. So these are the main ones that are of use in your everyday analysis and when you're writing as well, and just be aware of these. Well, exclamatory, which are the easiest ones to recognise because they've got an exclamation mark at the end. Most common error I see with these is a lot of people write exclamative instead of exclamatory. It's just annoying. They could have kept it all consistent, whoever came up with them, but they didn't, so we're stuck with that one. So exclamations, it's as simple as that. And what each one does, there's a couple of extra ones as well, negative and subjunctive, and also, and then the other two, which you do see come up sometimes, which is negative is a negative sentence. It's when you say, like, you can't do something, I can't see you or something. That's a negative sentence. It's still a form of declarative, but you can use negative. I have seen that out there in the real world. And subjunctive is one that's less common, but it's a sentence mood to do with possibility. So the most common example of that is, long live the Queen, which is, it's like a wish, isn't it? Effectively, it's like something that it's a possible thing. So that's subjunctive sentence mood. You don't see it as often, and I don't really think I've seen it ever used in many essays. It doesn't seem to come up as much, but that doesn't mean to say that it couldn't for you. But anyway, it's out there as a thing. So that's subjunctive. And negative are there your two bonus ones, but the first four are your go-to ones because they are definitely the most common ones that can come up. But again, remember, as with all of these things, it's how you use them as well. So it's no good just picking out, oh, here's a declarative, here's an interrogative, and all this stuff. You've got to say what the effect is. If you can't think of a good effect, then don't bother saying it. So just really think of that. That's true with all of these terms. You can analyse every single word on a page and every single sentence on a page, but it won't necessarily give you any meaningful analysis that will link to your question and give you marks. So always bear that in mind. That's really backwards by mistake. Important. And now I'm going to go on to sentence type, which is a little bit more complicated. I think, well, is it? I don't know. Actually, maybe it isn't. I don't know. You can decide that. So the easiest one of these is your simple sentence, and then I have actually put definitions on these ones. So single clause sentence. So I've talked about clauses before. They are effectively, in simple terms, ideas within a sentence. So a simple sentence is nothing to do with the level of complexity. It just means that it's got effectively one clause in it, one idea. So the cat slept, there you go. That's a nice easy one. Then compound is pretty easy as well, I think. That's like two completely independent clauses bolted together. They can work on their own and they're linked by a conjunction. The cat slept and the snow fell outside. So both of those clauses work independently. I could turn those into two separate sentences without the and, couldn't I, without the conjunction. So that's what compound sentences are. And moving on to the next one. Oh, actually, I forgot my, very professional, I forgot my definition was on the next slide. So yeah, link with the conjunction. All clauses make sense on their own, but I effectively said that anyway, but you know, you can see it on the screen there anyway. Okay, high production values there. And the next one is complex. So you get a complex sentence, and this is a bit more complicated, hence the longer definition. So these sentences have dependent clauses that need another clause to make sense. So you'd have to have something like the cat slept, purring softly. There's another verb there, but the purring softly doesn't work on its own normally as a sentence. So that's your complex sentences. You've got to have another part of the sentence needs another part of the sentence to actually work and to actually, to make sense. Again, that's how that one works. And then minor, which is probably, in some ways, it's an easy one, but it does get mixed up a bit because people mix this up with simple sentences. It's quite easy to do, actually. I'm sure I've done it in the past as well. It's quite easy to do, I think. But minor, it's an incomplete sentence, grammatically incomplete sentence. There's no main verb in it. So before, if I had put no, I don't use the same one with the cat. I'll just say something like we had a piece of travel writing, and your first word was Cairo, full stop, and then your next sentence would be city of the pyramids. Next sentence. So the first sentence was a minor sentence, and the next sentence was a simple sentence. But the first sentence was minor because I just had a proper noun in it. They don't have to be one word, they can be longer, but if they're grammatically incomplete, then it means it's a minor sentence. And you will see those with professional writers in fiction and in non-fiction. You'll see minor sentences. It's not necessarily wrong as such, as long as everything makes sense and it suits the audience and the genre and the purpose of the text. It's going to work, isn't it? So that's the key thing to remember. It's obviously not something you do when you're writing essays, but it's something that is out there as a thing. So, sorry, that was a phone buzzing in the background there. I managed to pause only after I remembered where the pause button was. Anyway, going back to what I said earlier on, very important, remember that these are effectively just part of a toolkit that you can use. And it's like a real toolbox in real life where you can't use all the tools for certain jobs. You've got to use the right tool for the right job. This is just a big extended analogy. But with these terms, including the sentence type and sentence mood, you can write about them in a text. You could analyse all the sentences on this and identify which sentence type and sentence mood they are. But the key thing, as I said earlier, really fundamentally important thing is make sure you've connected them to some kind of important effect that links to the question you're doing, or if it's a piece of text, if it's a piece you're writing yourself and it suits the audience and genre and purpose that you're aiming for. So that's the key thing. So that's just another quick terms blast, very short overview of sentence type and sentence mood. So I hope you enjoyed that, and all that remains to be said is thank you for watching, and I'll say the old routine of the subscribe, like, notification bell, and I'll keep making these, and hope you found them useful. And I've got other videos you can watch as well and listen to, of course. Thank you very much. Have a great day or night, whatever you're doing. Thank you. Goodbye.